Yes, I Can. We're with Jon Haggins, who is the author of Yes, I Can, an inspirational book about his life coming from the South to New York City in the fashion district. Jon, tell us about this.
Well, coming from this small town before segregation, no, actually before desegregation and the Black Revolution, coming into New York City was a culture shock. And what I loved was the fact that I made such an incredible transition. And then after living here, going to school here, and then going off into the fashion business and designing for some of the most wonderful people in the world, all the celebrities. And it was just, what a transition. Imagine a little boy from a little town coming into New York and meeting all the celebrities that you've seen on television or you've known about for the years.
With us is Marva Allen, one of the partners of Human Bookstore up here on 125th Street. Tell our audience about your store.
Right. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We are the Human Bookstore. Of course, the word "hue" means people of color, and we're a niche market African American bookstore in Harlem, and we have literature about anything to do with the African diaspora and, of course, everything else. But we do have a focus on that. And we have authors from all over, very famous. We even had President Clinton. And tonight, of course, we have Jon Haggins.
I'm here at the Human Bookstore in Harlem, and I came to listen to Jon Haggins talk. And I came because I want to see what Jon is up to now. He's always up to something wonderful with his travels and with his writing. And I haven't read the book, so I can't tell you anything about the book, but I can just say that everything that Jon touches turns to gold.
Now, how do you get into something so competitive like the fashion industry?
Well, I didn't think of it as being competitive. I went in as a very naive individual, very young at 22, and then I just looked at the masthead of the magazines. I called up all these people. They said, I want to see what you have. I went over. I showed them what I had. They loved it. And the first editorials were like...
So wait, you had layouts of your fashions for these people to see, or...?
I had actually the clothes, the fashions, and I showed them, and the next thing I knew, I had a double-page spread in Vogue with Marissa Berenson, and there was Harper's Bazaar and Cosmopolitan and Town and Country and The Times and Women's Wear, and all these publications adored me, and I was a darling of the fashion industry back in the 60s and the early 70s.
And the clothes that you designed, who were they for?
They're for the gorgeous woman who has a great body, who wants to show off. And I think that they're lasting, everlasting. I look at some of the photographs, and the Schomburg has a whole archive of my work from the past. And I look at some of those photographs, and I say they're so current, you can wear them today. And I think that's really what's important. They're traditional. And also, when you think about the fact, if you buy a dress for, say, $1,000, and if you have it for 10 years, it's only $100 a year. I think something like that. My math is bad. But then when you think about it, it's really pennies a day. And that's really what you call a good investment. I'd like to share sort of some of the montage of my travel adventures. While being frisked by a TSA lady at JFK Airport, she touched my knee and asked, "Is that your knee?" And I said, "What do you think?" And then on another occasion, my luggage was overweight, and I refused to pay extra. So I began taking items out of the suitcase and stuffing them in my pocket. "What is that?" the agent asked. "My cocktail mixer. You know you have to have a cocktail mixer." And the relationships that you build throughout your life. And that's what's so wonderful about seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, and new friends that you're meeting all the time. And I think that, last year when I just came back from Quebec City this past weekend, and there's a young lady by the name of Angelique, I don't remember her last name, but her review was, if there was no sun in the sky, she would be the sun. And I thought, what a brilliant review. And last year it was jamais. So around the studio, I kept saying, jamais, jamais, jamais. It was from France, and he was so wonderful. And I asked, what were you drinking on stage? And he said, beer. And then I asked, okay, so what's under that hat? He said, my brain, my brain, my brain. He was so French, so dramatic, and so very special. So I love all these people that I meet who make a difference in my life.
Became the main sample maker, the only one there, because I was doing everybody's job. I learned to work with all kinds of fabric that I was scared to work with before. Other people came in to work and I would show them, even though it was a language barrier. They always understood me because I had patience with them. And we had a lot of nice fashion shows and the models, and it was exciting.
You're in his book, actually. What did you think about what he wrote about you?
Oh, I was nervous before I came to the part. I'm like, oh my God, what's he going to say? Because there were so many parts, but it was really great what he wrote. And just to mention the fact, I was really surprised that he mentioned my singing, because I thought it was just such a small little thing that I did back then. I didn't think it was of any notice.
No, it was glorious.
You know, to have that recognized now, and being a singer now, just made it so wonderful and so complete for me. It was really great. And the picture I loved. I forgot about that picture totally, and it's just beautiful. I love it. I've been telling the world about it.
See what
So it's
happens?
great. I tell you, you grow.
You get haunted, right?
Yes, exactly.
We're here with Norma Jean. Norma Jean worked with Jon. What was it like working with him?
It was always fun, always exciting, always last minute, always something wonderful happening. He just had the luck of the Irish, and every day when he did his shows, it was just fabulous. Just wonderful. The clothes were exciting. He was always excited about them, and it was always hectic, and it was always wonderful.
Any favorite moment?
Oh, well, I'll tell you. He had me take tango lessons, and he and I were going to tango down the runway, but he forgot to test the runway, and we fell into the laps of the fashion editors from women's wear. That was a moment I really will never forget.
And what did you two do?
Well, we said sorry, we dusted ourselves off, and then we tangoed down the runway again. But it was so funny. It was hysterically funny.
And you're in the book also?
Yes, I am.
And did you like what he wrote about you?
Oh, of course, except he said that I tripped and that's why we fell, but that wasn't exactly right.
He blamed it on you. But it's his book.
Yes, it's his book. He can say whatever he wants. We still love him.
And how did it go again, Norma? How did that trip go?
The platform fell beneath the weight, the combined weight. We needed a diet.
Hi, my name is Sharissa Craig, and I was one of Jon Haggins' models, and we all enjoyed working with him, always. He is a pleasure to work with, and he's done so many things since the fashion industry that we're so proud of. Modeling is wonderful, and I like modeling with Jon Haggins. I don't know very much what else to say except for he's a pleasure. He always has been. He looks the same. I love him with his bald hair. And
What's the biggest show you modeled with Jon?
I'm trying to. What is the biggest show that I've modeled with you? I can't think of any because I did a lot of big shows, and I can't think. To me, all of the shows that I modeled with Jon were big to me.
Any favorite outfits?
Everything that he designs is fabulous. So I really can't say, it's hard to really say one particular thing because he's different. He's different in every single dress, with every single outfit. He's unique. That's all I can say. And I'm happy to be his friend and one of the people that he always hired to be in his show.
So there's so many stories to share. There are a lot of years when you think about. And what was amazing to me was that when I look at the photographs in the book, and it goes from all these decades, from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and all the way up to the day. It's amazing when you think about all these different phases that you go through, and it's amazing. But I'm still here, and that's the most important thing. And I'm here to tell the stories my way. Well, I wanted really, again, to inspire people to get out there and do whatever they want to do and not have hindrances, because life is short. And people who say, well, I'll travel when I retire. You'll be dead when you retire. What are you talking about? You need to get out and do it now. There's just, and the world is so big, you couldn't even, if you started at 1, you couldn't see the entire world. So if you start at 65 or 70, forget about it. You'll never make it. So it's a wonderful world out there. And I say to people, get up, get out, and travel.